You mentioned ICE. Back on Capitol Hill, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem got an earful from members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, including Republican Thom Tillis, who repeated his calls for her to resign. He ticked through a long list of issues, from her, quote, disastrous leadership to her false claims about 2 Americans who were gunned down by immigration officials on the streets of Minneapolis.
Who does Tom Homan work for? You or the president?
The president.
Okay. Why is that? Because I believe the president recognized that you weren't getting it done in Minneapolis, and you're putting us further away from pointing to this. We're beginning to get the American people to think that deporting people is wrong. It's the exact opposite. The way you're going about deporting them is wrong. The fact that you can't admit to a mistake, which looks like under investigation, is going to prove that Miss Good and Mr. Petty probably should not have been shot in the face and in the back. Law enforcement needs to learn from that. You don't protect them by not looking after the facts. Not only should the FBI be investigating it, but every single law enforcement agency in that jurisdiction should be invited to it, so our law enforcement officers do not have this pall cast upon them. One of the reasons why ICE officers are having threats, and damn the people that threaten ICE officers, because so many of them are doing a good job, is because you've cast a pall on them by acting like we should investigate things differently. Officer-involved shootings have a formula that we should go through every time.
The road to Damascus, the chains fall off. Thom Tillis not running for re-election, free to speak his mind. And boy, he spoke his mind yesterday. Yeah. For those who, Alex had said this before, if you look at the transcripts of yesterday, it looks far more dramatic with a lot of the back and forths. But Kristi Noem, unlike Pam Bondi, didn't wave her arm and yell and point and say really stupid things like look at the stock market when they talk about her shooting her dog. Kristi Noem pretty much stayed level through it. But it was one lie after another lie after another lie after another lie. And everybody in the room knew she was lying. Again, the fact, if she survives another day, it is such an indictment of this administration and the fact that they're having listen, Tom Homan, again, it's like that scene from Fletch. Oh, good. The police. But Tom Homan is so much more competent than Kristi Noem. He should be running it. I have no idea how any administration can keep somebody that the planes and everything else, the execution-style shootings in the streets, you just go down the list, one lie after another. She would have been out of any other administration months ago.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the Thom Tillis haranguing, as it appeared to be, was called a performance evaluation, a 10-minute performance evaluation. You just saw a sliver of it there. It was blistering, and it all came from other Republicans on the committee. Senator John Kennedy went down other avenues to challenge Kristi Noem. And then you had Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. In a moment, we'll show our viewers just a little bit later, where she said, do you regret effectively calling Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist? Do you regret using this terminology immediately when it was clear from video that none of what you were saying was true? And she couldn't bring herself to apologize to the family and kind of tried to back away somehow from things that she said out loud, calling him indeed a domestic terrorist. So it is interesting, Joe, that the one thing that usually compels President Trump to make a change is if someone's making him look bad, if someone's hurting him. And she is, and she has been now for months and months and months. And yet, for whatever reason, he will not make that change when, as you said, you have Tom Homan sitting there capable of running this policy that Donald Trump wants to continue to see.
Yeah, we've been saying it day in and day out. She is hurting Donald Trump. She's hurting his poll numbers. She's destroying his numbers on immigration, which was always his strongest suit. Now you look at his numbers on immigration, it's upside down, despite what's happened at the southern border. It's an easy call. I don't understand why the call's not being made, but it's not. And the administration will continue suffering until they decide to make the obvious call. But yeah, she was lying yesterday time and time again. She couldn't say she was sorry. She lied saying that she never blamed Stephen Miller for everything, for blaming Stephen Miller. And then they have quotes of her blaming Stephen Miller. It's amateur night in Dixie, as Fantastic Mr. Fox would say.
We also